What's up, everyone? It's Dark Kitty here, and today I will be reading chapter 16 of the Crash Bandicoot fanfic that I wrote called Cursed. I hope you guys are all enjoying so far, and let's get started. Gary stopped building his robots. He had almost forgotten that he had a race to attend. He stood up and approached the two Earthlings. "I shall win this race," he said. "After all, only a robot can achieve perfection in motion. I will demolish any." He stopped to clean the ground a little bit. He was a clean freak, which wasn't much help. It got on his friends' nerves sometimes. "Now, where was I? Ah, yes, you're here to race me, I won't be going easy on you pests." He teleported himself to Android Alley. Not only was that his home, but it was also his favorite racetrack. "Please win this race, Aileen," said Cortex. "Don't worry, if you lose, we'll have 2 more chances to beat Gary." "But once we get to Emperor Velo, we only have 1 chance," Aileen said. "So we have to be careful." "Right. Anyways, go to Android Alley and beat that robot's robotic butt." Aileen smiled and stepped on a warp pad. She was teleported to Android Alley. She stepped into her cart, and Gary did the same. The light was immediately green this time. They both sped forward, going as fast as they could to the racetrack. This time, there were only 3 laps on the racetrack. The amount of laps must be random," Aileen said to herself. She then looked at Gary, who had been beside her the whole time. It seemed that the champions were faster than when she raced them 18 years ago. 18 years ago, 2 robots had been racing alongside Gary. This time, they were not there to help him. It was just him and Aileen now. There were no traps on the racetrack at all. Gary simply did not have the time to make them. He had been panicking about Beatrix the whole time she had been gone, so he didn't build any traps or add anything to Android Alley. The first lap wasn't as hard as Aileen thought. Of course, Aileen had always been good at racing, but she had not raced in 18 years. This was a little harder than all those years ago, and Aileen didn't think she was as good as she was when she was younger. But like always, she did not give up. Like Cortex, she didn't care how hard it was. As long as she got the one and saved Natalie, she didn't care about the difficulty. Aileen and Gary passed the finish line. They were now on the 2nd lap. Aileen squeezed the steering wheel. Her palms started to sweat. Her confidence was slowly draining out of her. She wasn't sure if she was going to win the race or not. Aileen slammed her foot on the gas pedal. She sped past the finish line and was now on the 3rd and final lap. Gary was only halfway on the 2nd. Aileen did an evil laugh and continued to race, not even bothering to look back to see if Gary was there. Aileen was near the finish line when she saw that Gary had finally caught up to her. They pushed each other's carts, just like she had done with Nash earlier. They tried to knock each other off balance, but to no avail. They were both going in a circle, going towards the finish line. When they both passed it, they had stopped spinning. They looked to see who had passed it first, and, fortunately, Aileen had been the one to pass it first. "Yes!" Aileen shouted, jumping out of her cart. She jumped up and down, cheering herself for a victory. Gary stepped out of his cart. "This can't be happening," he said. "I'm supposed to be one of the fastest racers on this planet. How did I lose? I know Techni like the back of my..." He stopped when he saw that the back of his robotic hands were filthy. "This whole place is filthy." Gary started scrubbing Android Alley. Aileen rolled her eyes at the robot's idiotic ways. She stepped on the warp pad and was teleported back to Techni. "Let me guess," Cortex said. "You won as usual." "You know it," Aileen said with great enthusiasm. "Now we have to defeat Emperor Velo. Then we can get that wand. Do you think we can beat him, though?" "Of course we can. With me being the one to race the Emperor, we will win for sure." "Are you saying that I am not capable of racing him? Is that what you're saying?" Cortex gulped. No, of course not. Let's just go back to Kobold and get that wand." Cortex and Aileen went back to Kobold. Cortex was so ready to face Emperor Velo the 27th. He knew it would be difficult. seeing as he would be racing the Emperor and all. Velo didn't make it easy for anyone, not even his own daughter. There were times when he was cruel to her for talking about her own mother, but that was in the past. All Aisling and Cortex were worried about was defeating Velo and retrieving the wand. Okay guys, that's the end of chapter 16. Just 2 more chapters and we'll be done. Please like and subscribe.